Hello everybody. Welcome to my live. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday evening. I'm so glad you're with me. We're going to have a lot of fun stamping tonight. So I have some fun projects for you. All of a sudden, you know, Easter's around the corner and it's time to get some Easter cards made. So we're going to make some cute bunny cards tonight. All right, let me make sure I'm coming up here. I feel a little unprepared tonight, a little out of sync. I'm not sure why. Probably because, you know, so rushed to get in here, and then it's just like, don't have time to think about it. Just hit the live button and go. So, not quite mentally prepared for what I'm going to say, so we're just going to move on. Okay, so I don't have a ton of stuff to share this week or a ton of stuff to show you, but we are going to make our 4 projects tonight. I have a couple of announcements that we'll go through. I guess the first one I should just tell you now. So the last chance products list came out today. So while supplies last, they moved a bunch of stuff to last chance, and a lot of it is discounted, so that's a bonus. So check that out. See if there's something you like. Let's get to our weekly contest every week. If you watch me, you know I have a contest. All you have to do is comment or share my video on one of my 2 Facebook pages or on my YouTube channel. And so I just put all the names together, pick a winner, and they win something fun. Usually it's an embellishment, sometimes other things. So what I was giving away this week is these Starburst sequins. These are a fairly new product, and they're really pretty colors. I think they're a lot of fun. And so the winner from this week is Jolene Kent. So Jolene, congratulations. I'll put this in the mail for you. Thank you so very much. And thank you to everybody who shares or comments. I love talking to you guys while we're doing the videos. All right, this next week, I'm going to be giving away these party dots. And again, really, really beautiful colors. Very fun embellishment. Lots of use out of this. Okay. Just share my video. If you do share my video, please just mark in the comments that you shared. Otherwise, I won't know that, you know, who shared the video. And then you can comment. And I love the comments and I read them all. So thank you. Okay, I got a big order in today from some of the new stuff, so that was exciting. Did you guys see, I don't know if there was a video for it or there was something where they were talking about putting little notes and stuff in the orders. So I got this really cute, nice little surprise card, little envelope in this card in my order today, a little thank you card. And as you can see, it says, "Thank you for your order. We appreciate you. Riverton Order Fulfillment." So that was a nice little surprise. Thank you, Stampin' Up. That's awesome. Just a cute little card. I love that. Okay, let me turn my camera around and let's get making some cards tonight. All right. Let me get this right. Okay. Let me pull up my chair and get comfy. We'll settle in for this. Okay, so we're going to be working out of the mini catalog tonight. And this suite is a large suite, and it's got so many fun products. So it's like, I don't know, would you call it a mega suite maybe? It has, hi Kelly, it has 2 different papers. So we're going to use just 1 sheet from this paper and then some of these papers down here at the bottom. Really pretty springy papers, and I'll show them to you up a little bit closer. It has 2 suites that go with it. So this week we're using the Storybook Friends suite with all the little animals and these beautiful cutout frames. I would still like to do a class with this later too, the Storybook Garden Patch, because this is super fun, right? And it's gardening time, right? Time to get your gardens planted. Well, at least here it is. I'm probably a little bit late to the party on that. Here's some of the projects in the catalog. You can see cute little bunnies. I mean, who doesn't love bunnies for Easter, right? Here's some more of the garden patch things. So super, super fun product. Look at, there's even more stuff. So here's a couple more cards, a little tag, and then a scrapbooking page. So lots of fun stuff with that. Okay, these are our projects for tonight. So we're going to make this Easter greetings card. We're going to make a happy spring card, again with a little bunny. we're going to make this Easter greetings card. I love the colors in this. I think it's really pretty. Oh, it's not Kelly, not card. Are you guys still getting snow, Kelly? Just wondering. Okay, and then we're just going to make this cute little Easter treat box because everybody loves treats for Easter, right? Okay, so let's just get started on our projects. I'm going to start with this card first. All right, so let me show you up close. This is Storybook Friends, and it has some Easter greetings and welcome little one, because, you know, bunnies, right? Thank you so very much. Hello, friend. Happy spring. And these images are only 75%, so the actual images are larger than this. We're going to use these two kind of, I don't know, this is like a little stone wall and a little carrot patch. We're going to use those tonight, too. Hi, Jolene. Jolene, you won this week's contest, just FYI. I don't know if you caught the beginning, but you won these Starburst sequins. So I'll be sending those to you in the mail. Okay, here are the dies. Now these frames are amazing because they're so fancy, they're intricate, they're small, they're pretty. And then we have all these dies that cut out some of the animals. And once I show you the paper too, you'll see that they don't just cut out the stamped images, but they also cut out some of the images from the paper. So that's pretty fun. Okay, also what we're going to use for this first card is one of my new favorite sets of dies, and that is the Textured Notes dies, and they're rectangles, and they have beautiful textures around each frame. Each frame has a different texture. So we're going to use this one. This one is one of my favorites because the size is perfect, and it looks, I don't know, maybe a little bamboo-y to me. I don't know. It's just really pretty. I like them all, and I'm going to use them all, but that's the one we're going to use tonight with this. And then, of course, Stylish Shapes dies. So, you know, got to use those every week. Love them. Okay, here is the first card. Whoops, don't want to forget any pieces. Okay, so we're going to start with some Mossy Meadow. And this is standard card base, 8.5, 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. I have a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of basic white, and we're just keeping the inside simple and a little bit of the DSP. This is a 4 1/4 by 3/4 strip. So let's get out some seal and put that together. Now you could obviously put a sentiment in here. You could put a little bunny in here. Whatever you want to do. You could make this an Easter card, a spring card, a baby card. You know, the possibilities are endless with the set. There's just so many features. Okay, so that's the start of our card base. Next, I have this beautiful DSP. And let me just show you guys up close this DSP for a minute because it's really awesome. I should just open a new one because I'm showing you the cut up pieces, right? Like I always do. But so you have these beautiful, beautiful papers. I love the designs on these papers. Let me, hold on. I'm going to open up a different one because I want to just kind of show you the whole thing. So let me just open up a new pack so I can kind of show you what they look like with the full thing. Okay. So here are, look at these cute little gardening. Look at, they're doing all kinds of things. A squirrel on a swing. I mean, so, so cute. Just adorable. The other side has these beautiful patterns. This is one of my favorite because I love the colors. I love the designs. It's kind of got that little tiny design type thing on it. So that's always a good thing. We have this pretty one with strawberries on it. This will be great when we do some garden ones. Lots of bunnies. And the great thing about these is these are already colored. You just have to either die cut them out with some of the dies or fussy cut. I think this one cuts out. There's several. This one down here cuts out with the dies. So if you don't like to color, you don't have to color. Just use the bunnies that come with it. So that's perfect. All right, this is a beautiful garden sheet for when we use the garden bundle. I mean, it's just so pretty. These little houses, which I think are adorable, little cottages, right? The little cabbage patch, isn't that adorable? This piece you can cut out. There's frames and just, you know, if you want to just quick make some cards, just cut these up And then you have some background pieces, some nice accents. The other side, which is the one I'm using, is this beautiful, again, background paper. Love that. More gardening fun. Look at this. Wheelbarrows and tools and hats, just rakes. I just love it. It's just so fun. Balmy blue. Let me look. Let me take a look. And then the last thing I want to show you with this is you have all these little die cuts. So you don't even have to do anything except punch these out and add them to your cards, right? So tonight we're going to do everything the hard way, and we're going to stamp in color, because even after you use up your paper, you're still going to have your stamps that you can color later and use. So I wanted to show you all that. Let me look at the colors, Jolene. Let's see. Boho blue. Yes, boho blue. A lot of pretty colors that all go well together. Oh, I'm sorry. You said balmy blue. It's boho blue. I don't think I see any balmy blue in here. Just boho blue. Yeah, that's the blue. Okay. So anyway, I have this 5 1/4 by 4 piece of this beautiful DSP, and we're just going to layer that down on the front of our card. All right. Let's put that like this. All right, beautiful card base. Now we're going to start building on this piece right here. This is the piece that I showed you that I die cut out. Now, if you get my kit this week, you are going to need the bundle that I just showed you. So the stamp set, the dies, because you'll be doing your own die cutting. Other shapes I'll die cut for you are things like the labels, because this is from the Stylish Shapes. You don't need to have all the other die sets, just the one that goes with this bundle. So I have that. I cut out one of the frames, and I cut this out in Mossy Meadow. This is Old Olive, this frame. So I'm just punching out the rest of these little pieces here. So we've got this frame. I cut out another frame in white. So I have, you know, the 2 pieces. I'm just going to use the inside piece now. So here's the outside piece. I'm going to save that for another project. I've got this inside piece that we can stamp and color and put our card together with. Okay, so what I did, if you can see here, is I just stamped on the oval and I just glued it in the middle and colored it that way. The other thing you can do is just stamp on a piece of basic white and die cut it. And I think that's what I'm going to do this time, because if you like it plain white, that's right. But I thought maybe we'll just add a little bit of speckle to the background on this one. And you can just decide then which one do you like better. Okay, so we'll keep this aside. This is for our sentiments. It's going to say Easter greetings. All right. So let me get out a piece of scrap white. And I think this piece should be big enough. And let's start stamping. Okay. So first, let's find our cute little bunny. And this is the bunny that has the bow tie. So we'll just stamp him on our piece of basic white. And then I'm going to take my sentiment, which is Easter greetings, and I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow onto my Stylish Shapes die. Let me get rid of this. Now I'm thinking, if we do a little splatter, what color should we use? I guess maybe some, I guess we could just stick with the theme and kind of use a little bit of Old Olive. I mean, it might not look that good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep it just plain white? I'm not sure. All right, Easter greetings. We've got that. Got little pieces all over. Let's just try it. We'll just try it and see if we like it. Let me get something. Let me see. We'll just get something and try a little bit. Looking at my colors here, I guess we said Old Olive. Let's do light Old Olive, and we'll just speckle a little bit in the background. So I'm just going to take my marker. Wait, this is Granny Apple. Come on, Laura. No, no, no. Light Old Olive. So I'm just going to, you know, brush it against my cap and just add a little bit, or a lot, apparently, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we have that. You know what? I feel like I'm missing just a little bit at the bottom. One more time. One more little spritz. Okay. Better. Almost look like a speckled Easter egg, right? Okay, so the bunny, I kind of stuck with kind of the colors that they were using. So, oh yeah, Jolene, I should have done boho sprinkles. That would have been a good idea. So I used two colors. I'm using the light pecan pie just to do a little outlining of the bunny, and I'm doing a light crumb cake to fill in. So I'm mixing two different colors for the bunny. I'm taking a little bit of petal pink just to do the inside of the ear. So let me just start by coloring that in. And truly, it doesn't take that long to do the coloring for these bunnies. So just kind of where they have their little lines is kind of where I'm filling in some of the dark. I left the belly white except for the top part. I don't know why. And I did that both times when I made this card. So probably because I started with the dark where the lines were. So that's kind of where we're at with that. All right, a little bit on the paws. And then I'm just going to start blending in with the light color of the crumb cake. So I've pre-colored the bunnies for tonight, so you don't have to watch me color a gazillion bunny rabbits. I'm going to kind of keep the eye area white, and then I'll put a little bit more down here. And then let's just go down here. Now you could leave this whole thing here white if you wanted to. But what I did was I just colored all the way down to here and just left the bottom white. Leaving the little fluffy tail white. And so I'm just getting this all wet, just coloring across, and I'm going to go back and kind of blend the two colors together a little bit while they're both wet. So I'm just going to go back and kind of blend them in. And I think he looks cute like that. You can make your bunny any color that you would like. You could leave him white. And then just to tie with the colors we're using, I used a little bit of dark old olive just to do the bow tie. Now in the dies, you have a little bunny die. So you can just take your bunny die then and die cut out the bunny if you want to, unless you decided just to stamp on there. And so I have a little bunny. Hold on, let me set things up a little bit better. So here's the bunny exactly the way we just colored him. So we'll pop him up with some dimensionals. So let's finish building on here. I'm going to start by taking a little bit of glue and glue my frame down. Let me get my glue started. My glue is getting really gunky. It's time to clean things up a little bit, but I feel like I've been so rushed this week. I haven't had time to do anything. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm going to Chicago for a business trip. I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I've been kind of rushing around to get stuff done. And of course I work today. So I won't be live next week because I'm not coming home until Monday evening. And I won't, of course, have anything prepared. And if you order the kit this week, usually I cut the kits on Sunday and mail them on Monday. It'll go out a couple days later next week because, like I said, I won't be home until Monday night. So I will not have time to get the kits together and get them sent out, obviously, Monday morning. All right, so let's center this. So there's supposed to be bad storms in Chicago tomorrow, so I don't know. Our flight may even get canceled. We'll kind of see how things go. All right, this I'm just going to put down, and then we'll pop our little bunny up. Let's get some dimensionals out. All right, and we'll just put our cute little bunny right there. We're going to pop this whole thing up onto the card. Yeah, so there's supposed to be severe storms in Chicago tomorrow. Our flight's early, super early. So maybe we'll avoid it, but I feel like it's starting overnight, so we might not be able to avoid the storms. We'll see what happens. All right, this is getting centered and popped up. I'm going to take the Easter greetings, which, how did I get that dirty? Weird. Let me see if I can clean it up a little with my eraser. Must have got a little smudge on that. Maybe I had ink on my finger. That wouldn't be unusual, right? All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of seal on the top because it's going to go partially on the popped up side. And then I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals right at the bottom. And we'll put our greeting down here. Whoops, get back there. This is a pretty easy card, right? It doesn't take too long. It's cute. This would be a good one if you wanted to make a bunch of them, right? Okay, let's add some ribbon. I love this beautiful white ribbon. I don't know, what do you guys, well, we'll wait till we're finished and let you guys see what the two different cards look like. I thought just the pretty plain white ribbon would be lovely with this card. Kind of matches. Let's see if I can manage a bow. Oh, Jolene, you had some snow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the storm's coming. You're sending it to Chicago. Are you taking responsibility? Yeah, it's crazy how some people are still getting snow. When I was driving home today, it was like 84, 85, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. It's too early to be complaining about being Texas being hot though, right? Too early. All right. Okay, let's get a glue dot out. Whoops, I like to re-roll my glue dots because I don't like them on this side. And I opened a new one and haven't done that yet. All right, bow up in the corner. Now these dots, I am in love with these dots. They are so pretty. They're antique pearls. They're kind of flat. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Let me take them out of the package. On these pearls is just, they are gorgeous. I love them. So let's take a medium. They have 3 different sizes. See if I can pick one up here. Let me get my thing started. So we'll put one here and then a couple of small ones. And that's it. Easy breezy. Card number 1, right? All right, so now what do we think? We've done it 2 ways. We have the plain white and we have a little bit of a speckle in the background and the bunny popped up. I don't know. I almost think plain white, but still pop the bunny up. It just adds a little more dimension. I think that's what I would do if I made another one, is just keep this plain white, but pop the bunny up. Okay, card number 1. Hope you guys like it. Let's move on to the next card. So this card right here, we're going to do next, and this is the Happy Spring card. And I just think that one's really pretty. I love these colors, some of my favorite colors. So let me I'm making a mess already. Let me put a few things away. Done with that little bunny. Okay, so what we're going to add for this card, excuse me, is these fancy borders dies. I love a good border die. We're going to use this die right here. Let me pull that out so I can show you what we're doing. Yeah, isn't that blue so pretty? That's Lost Lagoon. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Okay, so here are our pieces. So I've got 2 of the Stylish Shape labels from the Stylish Shapes dies. We have a little piece of basic white that we're going to stamp and color our bunny on. We cut out one of these frames, and again, you'll be cutting your own. I'll just be giving you the paper in the kit if you get the kit, but I've pre-cut them for the live. So we have this little frame, and then I cut it out again in white, so I would have the middle. So we're going to work on the middle for this as well. We're going to do a little bit of background on this, all right? We'll keep our die to the side for now. So our measurements for this are 4 1/4. And so I did 4 1/4 by 11. I just cut the sheet of cardstock in half. And then maybe about 1.5 inches from the bottom, I just took the die I had it open like this. I took the die and lined it up like this. Hold on, you know, something like this. There we go. And then I ran it through my die cutting machine. And so it cuts off this other part down here, right? So it cut off the 1.5 inch part right here. And then you end up with this beautiful border. Isn't that a pretty border? I love that. Okay. So, but I'm still going to use 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, and we're going to layer up on that. So let me put that down on the inside. This is basic white. Okay, now we have some more of that DSP. So I have 2 pieces of the DSP, and this is that really, really pretty one. And let's see, it is 4 by 3 3/4 and 4 by 1 1/4. So if I cut this properly, when I put this down, and I'm just going to cover up the white at the bottom down here, it's going to cover right up to there. All right, so let's put that down. If you get the kit, I will have already die cut this card base for you. So you don't need the border dies if you don't have them already. Okay, there's for our inside. Now this has to be in the right, because if it's this way, it's not gonna, that's not the right way, it's this way. Okay, so we're gonna put this here. All right, now we've pretty much got our card base completed. All right, let's take a little ribbon and tie it around here before we go any further with adding anything else. So let me just kind of make sure I have enough. I'm going to tie it all the way to the side. All right, here we go. Texas, you guys, has had so much, I talk about the weather all the time, right? Texas has had so much hail lately. Like, there was a big storm last night. We didn't get any hail here, but we have already a couple times this season. In the past couple of weeks, we've had some hail. But they had some huge hail. One of the girls I work with at work, her car pretty much got destroyed. Dents, windshield shattered, all that good stuff. So it was more kind of like west of us that got the really big hail. Even one of our clinics at work that's out in that area, their roof was destroyed and they flooded because the rain just came in through the roof once the hail destroyed the roof. Crazy, right? I don't know. Texas and hail. All right, that looks pretty just like it is. Let's not even do anything else. Jolene, I can't remember if Storybook is sticking around. I looked at the list this morning, but I'm not 100% sure. I would have to look again and see. Okay, so here we're just going to stamp a bunny, right? So let's get out some Memento. And the one I used is this little bunny holding the cabbages. All right, so he will need to be colored. So I just want to do a little background blending on this. So I'm going to take 2 colors. So for this one, I know it's not really a sky color, but I'm using the Lost Lagoon because I didn't want a balmy blue to kind of clash in the background. So for the top of it, I'm just going to do a little bit of blending, and not too dark, just kind of light. So I'm just going to take a little bit and just kind of blend the top so it kind of looks like a little bit of sky in the background. I'll just keep going over it until I think I'm happy with kind of what it looks like. I don't know, do we think that's dark enough? I mean, we don't want to get crazy. I'll just add just a tiny bit more. More is better, right? Not always. Okay, good enough for the sky. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Granny Apple Green, which is a little bit bright, but if I don't add too much, I think it'll be fine for kind of the ground area. And I want to keep it light. I'm going to stamp over it. So let me get a little bit of the green. Okay. And just do the bottom in the green. Just add a little bit of a nice background. Okay, good enough. All right, so this is what we have. A little Lost Lagoon on top, a little bit of Granny Apple on the bottom. Now, I want to stamp a little bit of that little carrot patch on there. So let me see. Oh, maybe I didn't pull that out. Hold on a minute. Let me see if it's still in my thing. Yep. There it is. Okay. Let me get a block and pick that up. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that in Memento. And I just kind of want a little bit of the mound on the bottom, just something for the bunny to kind of stand on. And I don't even want it too high either because he's going to be there. So just, I think like that will be fine. So we have our little garden. We're just going to color that in a little bit. So I'm going to use, what did I use on this? It looks like Granny Apple. So let's get my light and dark. And I think I'm just going to go just all dark. Let me get this side. On the little leaves in the garden. Right? Very simple, tiny, easy to color. Add a little bit here. We got some leaves kind of hanging off. I don't know what this is, but I'm coloring it green. Okay, and then the carrot. So take a little bit of pumpkin pie and just do our little carrot that's sticking up a little bit. There, we've got that. Okay, very easy. Now, let's start putting this all together. So on the bunny, I colored it just like the other one, a little bit of petal pink here for the ears, the same thing with pecan pie and crumb cake for the bunny. And then I did a little bit of Lost Lagoon light and dark for his little overalls. And for the cabbage, I did light and dark Granny Apple green to kind of match what we have going here. All right, so let me pull the little bunny. This is the one that's already colored. You can see how this little guy looks. So we're going to have that. Put this stuff aside for a minute. Throw some markers around. Okay. All right, so let's start building. Where did the frame go? So I want to pop this up. So what I want to do is put this kind of back together. So I'm going to make sure that both pieces are upside down and that they're lined up. And then I'm just going to put the dimensionals to hold those pieces together. So I'm going to use a bunch of dimensionals and kind of, I'll start in the corners. That way I can pop it up and it'll stay together. And we'll have our little popped up background, which I think is really cute. All right. I'm going up here. I'm not going to go too much here because my sentiments are going to come across and I'm going to want to tuck those under a little bit. And I didn't even stamp those yet, but I will. Okay, so this is going to kind of straddle our ribbon too. So that's going to go right here. See if I can get it straight. I think that's pretty good. Cute little background. Let's pop up our bunny. Now the card I made, I didn't pop the bunny up. I just adhered him with some seal. But I'm in a popping up mood tonight, so we're going to pop everything up. Multiple layers. You can't have too many layers, right? I don't think the post office would agree, but all right, he's just going to sit right there. Isn't he cute in his little garden? Okay, let's get some sentiments going here. This time I'm doing Happy Spring. I'm going to do it in Memento on these two little pieces. And I'm going to get out some Post-it tape, and I'm going to do one side at a time. So the first one I'm going to do is Happy. So I'm going to mask off my spring, ink it up, get rid of my tape, and I want to do both of them kind of close to the left side. Sorry, I have to pull it down a little bit so I can see where I'm going. Okay, so we have Happy. Let's clean off the stamp. Make sure it's kind of dry. And next we're gonna do the Happy part taped off because I just want the spring this time. Okay, ink that up pretty good. Now, if you're really talented, you don't even have to use the tape. You can just do it, you know, on the side. I need the tape. Okay, happy spring. There we go. Now we're going to cut that down a little bit, and then we can tuck it behind. And I'm just going to use some seal for that. So let's see. I want it about this far, so let me cut this one. I want the spring just a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut that one about here. Let me add a little bit of seal to these. Okay. Happy spring. All right, now I'm running into a dimensional, so I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter because I don't have much room to tuck under here. Hold on. I'm not 100% sure I'm happy with that. Let me see if I can get it under. I think that's pretty good. Oh, maybe just a tiny bit more. Just like 2 more dots. Okay, that's it. Let's get some more of those beautiful dots. And I feel like these are a little bit harder to pick up. We'll put one there and a couple at the bottom. All right, there is our next card. This one might be my favorite, maybe. I think it's really cute. I really like this one. I wonder if I could just do a happy Easter sentiment and make that my Easter card for this year that I send to people, possibly. Okay, card number 2 done. We're well on our way. All right, this one's just a little bit more complicated. We're going to do a little bit more with the background again. It's kind of some of the same simple blending brush thing that we did. But we're going to do a little masking here because I want to stamp this on here and I don't want the green and the blue to get all over it. So we're going to do a little bit of masking for this one. Okay, so I've also added the Nested Essentials dies for this one. So I'm using the 2 biggest sizes. And that's kind of what our background's going to be on. So here are the pieces for this. But I got to straighten out my legs. My legs are falling asleep from sitting. Jolene, you too. The Lost Lagoon card is your favorite. Yeah, me too. I think so. Although, you know, I'm a sucker for Calypso Coral too. I really do love it. Okay, so same thing. 8.5, 5.5, scored to 4 1/4. This one's going to go this way. 5 1/4 by 4 is going to be on the inside. And then I just have 2 layers. I have a little bit of Old Olive, which is 5 1/4 by 1. And then this one is just a little piece that's going to go inside, almost to the edges, but it's 3/4 inch by 5 1/8. I know it's strange, but when I was cutting, this is 5 1/8. And it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 because I just wanted a skinny border of this Old Olive, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so you follow me here. I just want a skinny border. Oh, I cut that wrong. Let me check my measurements. This is supposed to be 3 7/8. Did I cut it 3 7/8? 3, nope, I cut it 4. All right, I need to make it 7/8. But anyway, I guess my point was, so when I'm cutting down this way, I just cut another strip underneath. That's why it ended up being 5 1/8. And then I just added a green piece behind. All right, so 3 7/8, although, is that going to be enough? Let's see, for a skinny border. Yes, perfect. Okay, let's just start layering stuff, okay? So let's do the inside first. Get our layers down, then we can start working on our little scene. Now, again, if you don't like this, so the bottom DSP strip is, you know, the houses, but they're a little bit cut up, right? So if you don't like the look of that, ooh, you could even use the other side with the vegetables. That's really cute. Or just leave the green and put maybe another little bunny in here. Or don't do any border, just stamp some bunnies on the inside, and that would work too. Oh, hold on. I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't leave a little border on the left, so let's put this down again. It's so humid here that the seal easily picks up. Okay, that's a little better. Okay. All right, let's start layering on this side. So we're going to put this on top of the old olive. And then we'll put that right on top of the Calypso Coral. Now we have our nice card base all ready to build on. All right, we need to do some stamping for this card. So we have this little background piece. We don't need to do anything with that. This is we're going to build a little bit of a scene on, and then these we're going to stamp our bunnies. All right, so let's start by stamping a few things. Excuse me, bunnies first. Cute little girl bunny. And then the same bunny we did before with the bow tie for the first card. I'm only doing 2 bunnies, but you could get crazy and add some of the little kid bunnies too if you wanted to. All right, so these will get colored. So next, I took a little bit of our masking paper, and I'm just going to take a piece of it. I have my used piece here that I've already done. I'm looking for where the seam is because I might want to go across the seam so it's easier to peel. So what I'm going to do is take our little rock scene right here, okay? I'm going to stamp this on the masking paper right across the bottom, just like this. Next, I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to put that on our background before we start doing the, excuse me, let me move my masking paper, before we start doing the blending, okay? So I'm just going to cut all the way around it. I'm going to stick right to the edge of the black, and it only takes a minute to do this. And you can reuse this. I already have one that I could have reused, but I just want to show you guys kind of what I'm doing with this. Get rid of that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm trying to stay on the lines as much as I can, but, you know, you have a little bit of leeway there. You just don't want to do too much or you'll end up with a white edge around your rocks, which might look kind of funny. So I guess as close to the edge as you can. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this and I want to position it where I want it to be on my little scene. Okay. So I think I'm going to have maybe a little bit at the bottom of the grass showing right under here, but pretty much this is about where I want it. So I'm going to peel off the back and I'm going to just adhere it to my paper. So I've got a little sticker now and I want it just like right about here. Hopefully it's straight. Okay, now I can go ahead and do my blending. So this time I am using Balmy Blue. I think we are okay with that for our sky color. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. So I'm going to take some Balmy Blue and just go across the top. Now, the other thing you can do is, whoops, I got a blob there, trying not to do that, is do this and then cut out your shape. But because I'm giving you the shape already cut out, I'm doing it here. The only disadvantage to doing it this way is sometimes the borders, the edges get a little bit darker, but I think that's okay too. Yeah, Jolene, I don't use the masking paper too often, but I have used it for sure. It's kind of helpful. The other thing you could do is just use a Post-it note. You could use, I just want to get a little more of the blue up here. A Post-it note, you could probably do the Post-it tape. I'm thinking the Post-it tape has about the right width, so you could just stamp it on your Post-it tape too, and cut it out, and that would work just fine. Okay, Granny Apple Green again for the grass this time. And I'm going to do just a little bit above the rocks too. So let me get my blending brush. And now I'm just gonna go right over my rocks because they're gonna get lifted. And that's about it. I feel like that's pretty good. We've got some really color. I kind of went a little dark this time, but I think that's okay. All right, let me put my toys away. All right, now I'm just going to peel this off. And we've got our white underneath. And then we're going to carefully stamp back over that so we can color in the rocks. Okay? So, let me get this back because I don't want to get any black ink. All right, so let's get our rocks again. And we will see if I can line this up. All right, I'm going to bring it down again. I'm sorry, I know it's like almost out of the frame, but it's really important for me to get this lined up right. So I kind of have to be like right over it. Okay, there we go. So you can see now we have the rocks, and we have the white background, so we can just color those, which is great. Sharon, I love this set too. The spring colors are really pretty. And again, who doesn't love cute little bunny rabbits? So, okay, now we're going to do coloring. So I'm not going to bore you with the bunnies again because we've already colored this one once tonight, right? So we're going to do it exactly the same way. So we have this little colored bunny. So that's number 1. Now this one we hadn't colored before, but I used the same exact colors with the pecan pie and the crumb cake. The only thing I added was I made her dress Calypso Coral to kind of match the Calypso Coral card. All right, so she's all colored and cut out and ready to go. So now all we have to do is color our rocks, and I'm going to do those. And the little like bush, I'll do the bush in, I did it in Old Olive because I have it trimmed out in Old Olive around the greeting. And I did gray granite for the rocks. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of randomly go around the edges of the rocks in the dark gray granite. And then we'll kind of do the middle of the rocks in the light gray granite. And they don't have to be perfect. Again, our rocks aren't perfect, right? It probably looks better if they're not perfect. I'm going to try and stay away from the bush or whatever that is there. Now, I'm not going to get too crazy about the sides here because there's going to be bunnies covering it. And I'm going to do a little bit of dark in the places between the rocks too. So I just thought it added a little bit of something to have just a little bit of background for these little bunnies. And they have these cute little background stamps, so why not use them, right? All right, we're just about done with the outsides. We'll start coloring in the insides. And we can just go back and blend a little bit when we're finished here. I think Nicole's taken, I think she's taken Emmeline this Saturday to a little Easter egg hunt already that they're having like in the, you know, the city where they live, like the Park District. So that'll be fun. Oh, actually it's not this Saturday, it's the next Saturday because I'm going to be there this weekend, but it's the weekend I'm not there that they're doing the egg hunt. Okay, let me just go back and just blend a little bit the light to the dark. And then we're pretty much done with our rocks. And then we're just going to do the bush with Old Olive. There's 2 of them. I don't know if I guess I'll do this one too, but I feel like most of it's going to be covered up by the bunny. So I'm just kind of doing the edges in the dark. And we'll fill in with the light. A lot of coloring tonight, right? I'm kind of looking to see where I have some white spaces left. I'm going to have to go back over with my gray granite. And a little bit here. just blend this a little bit in. All right, I feel like that looks pretty good. Let me just go back with the dark and hit. Again, I think the bunny's gonna cover, but I don't want any little white spaces in my rocks. Okay, there it is. There is our background. It's a little bright. Got carried away with the color, but it's okay. I think it'll be fine. Okay, let's finish building what we've got. So this piece just gets adhered to the old olive layer. Yeah, that granny apple's really bright, right? Let's pop up. Do we want to pop them up now? We're just going to adhere them. Let's pop up this and put it on our card base. Lots of dimensionals. Whoops. It will not come off my finger. Ugh. All right. Let's try and get these off of here fast so we can get this down. Okay, right in the middle. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, critical error, you guys. Ugh, I didn't stamp. So I'm going to try stamping the Easter greetings. I'm going to take these off. I know you guys are going to think I'm nutty. But if I don't take them off, it's not going to stamp flat and stamp right for me. So I apologize for the delay. But it's important it stamps right. Now, if it doesn't stamp right and we screwed up, then I can just restamp it on a label and adhere the label. All right, where's my Easter greetings? I'm going to do that in Memento. So this card takes a couple minutes longer, so this is probably not the card that I'm going to make 20 of for Easter, right? But it's still a fun card to make. Easter greetings. Okay, back to the dimensionals. All right. Oh, come on. Get off. Okay. Sheesh. Oh, there's still a straggler on here. You need to come off. Isn't that paper pretty? I love that paper. Okay, there we go. Now let's get some bunnies on here. So, because this is popped up, I probably need a dimensional right here for the bunny. And then I'm putting seal on the rest of him. So let's put this here so he's level. And he's gonna go right there. He's so cute. Let's do the same thing for our girl bunny. She's gonna go right over here. We'll put a dimensional there and some seal on her. Our adorable little friends. We'll go here. She is kind of covering up most of that bush. Okay, all we need now is some butterflies, right? So let me get out my brass butterflies and we'll just put a couple of butterflies on. So we'll put a big one right here. And let's get a little one right down here. Okay. Phew. All right. That's it. Hi, Lisa. Okay, card number 2. Look how much brighter this one is that we just made. But it will kind of fade a little bit too, so it won't be quite as bright. But that is card number 3 with the cute little bunnies. I hope you guys like it. It's kind of fun to do the masking, right? Lots of uses for that. Okay, last we're just going to do a quick, simple little box. Everybody likes Easter treats, right? So here are our pieces. You guys, I have used these scalloped gift boxes so much because they're so easy. They're already scored. You don't need any adhesive. They just fold up really nicely. They're the perfect size for treats. And I just love these. I don't know if these are carrying over, if they're going to be last chance or not. I probably should have studied that more. But it was very early this morning when I was looking at that before I went to work. Okay, just folding the box to put it together. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just tucking these sides in. Then this last piece right here just gets tucked in. You can see it has these little notches and little slots. So you're just folding and tucking into the slots. It holds it nice and securely. And now you have a fabulous, cute little box. Easy breezy, right? For treats. Okay, let's put some bunnies, of course. My favorite, these little sea salt caramel bunnies we can put in here. So let's put a bunch of these in here because we'll give this to somebody. Obviously, you can put peeps in here. You can put anything that you want in here to give as a gift. These would be great gifts at work. These would be great for Easter baskets. Okay, so very simple. We've just taken a piece of Old Olive 4 by 2 3/4. This is that other DSP, the Timeless Plaid. Isn't this pretty with the Calypso Coral and the Old Olive? So again, we're doing kind of a skinny border. So this is 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. I don't even have my other one out so I can look at it and see what we're actually doing. Okay, that's better. So we're just going to glue this down just like that, and that's kind of the background. I feel like my paper's a little uneven here. If you guys ever have paper that's kind of uneven, just get your bone folder and it'll flatten right out without a problem. You can fix a lot of problems with your bone folder. Okay, so we have this. This is just going to get adhered onto the top of our box, so we can go ahead and do that. Now, I went with the frame. Obviously, I could have done a circle or something else for the top of the box to put our bunny or used any one of the bunnies. But I have this little frame that I cut out in Calypso Coral. That's another one of the frames. So if you get the kit, you'll have to cut your own frame. I'll just provide the piece of Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to go around and punch these little pieces out, the die cut. And these are just really beautiful, intricate frames. I love every single one of them. They're all so nice. I tried to use each different one on the projects tonight so you could see how it looks with the different frames. Okay, one more. Okay, let me get my little pieces, my little tiny garbage can that I have on my desk. Okay, now this time, so I have 2 pieces of white. This is going to be for the back of the frame, and what I'm going to stamp here is Somebody Loves You, and we're going to do a little bit of spritzing again, this time with Calypso Coral. So, because I kind of want it to match the frame. So let me move everything out of the way because I'm a messy spritzer. So I'm just going to spritz some of this. Whoa, I'm a heavy spritzer tonight, right? I'm going crazy with the spritzing. Okay, so now I've got that. I'm going to take my Old Olive. I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow. I lied, sorry. And do Somebody Loves You. How cute. And just stamp it right in the middle. Okay, we're going to do kind of the same trick that we did before in here, except this piece that I cut is just a little bit bigger, so we could actually glue it if we wanted to, but we want to pop this up, right? So let's do our same trick with the dimensionals. So I'm going to go on the top and the bottom because on the sides I'm going to use a little bit of ribbon, and I want my ribbon to be able to pass through. All right, so I'm just going to adhere it like that. Okay, Now, this last little piece of white, it's just like a little 1.5 by 1.5 or 2 by 2, whatever it is we're stamping just the last little bunny. And he's just a little cute one. Where's he at? Right here. All right, so he's just getting stamped and colored. And again, I won't bore you with the coloring. It's the same colors that I used for the other bunnies, which is the pecan pie and the crumb cake. I left his tummy white, his tail white, a little bit of petal pink to the inside of his ear, okay? Super easy. He's super cute. Cut him out with the die cut. Now again, if you don't want to do that and you have the paper, then you can just cut out, fussy cut or die cut out your bunnies and you don't even have to color. Okay, so let's bring back our box. We're going to bring back some of the ribbon and I'm going to thread the ribbon through. So these frames are really nice because you can thread right through them. So I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to start by going through this way from behind. Whoops, these nails are not helping the situation at all. Okay, and then I'm going to go back through this bigger one right here. So just tucking it and I'll just pull it right through. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it sure is handy, right? All right, and then I'm going to come back out the other side with the ribbon. So poke this through here. And then through one more, and then I'm going to see how much ribbon I need to be able to tie it. So let me just finish getting this last piece of ribbon through here. Might have to use a tool, we'll see. There we go, not so hard. All right, so what I'm gonna do is make sure I have enough ribbon to tie my bow. If you remember, I have the dimensionals there. So I'm just gonna put that down with the dimensionals. I want to tie a ribbon because I want my box to stay closed. So we'll just tie that really pretty white ribbon here again. Just like this. What time is it? 8:05. When I get finished with my lives, it takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours to post it everywhere else, to do my little Canva thing for YouTube, and then to do the email that gets sent out tomorrow while I'm at work, or tomorrow while I'm on the plane, as it were tomorrow. So I got to do all that work tonight, and then I have to go finish packing, and then I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I should have been maybe a little bit more organized, but I wasn't. Okay, I'm going to put our cute little bunny down here, and I'm just going to put him on with a little bit of seal. Just like that. I never booked that early of a flight for myself, but because it was a business trip, you know, it was booked by somebody else because I was like, I cannot fly that early. I prefer an afternoon flight whenever possible. Okay, that's it. Super simple box, right? That's what the beauty of these boxes. They're so easy. Okay, Lisa, going to Chicago for a business trip for a couple days. And then, of course, I'll be there to be with my kids for, you know, the weekend, and coming back on Monday. Probably late, almost evening Monday. So no live next week. But I will get all the things out for this week, like probably on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, let's bring back our cute cards, our nice Easter cards. I hope you guys like them. So we've got our little Easter greeting guys. We have our Lost Lagoon cards. This one where we did our little scenes. And then our really easy little treat box. So I hope this gave you guys some good ideas for Easter cards. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked them. Let me just tell you a couple more things. Let me show you a couple projects. So last week, like Deborah, who's my upline, she and Melissa Faust did a really cute thing for our team. And they did a bunko, which was done on Zoom, and also a craft along. And it was almost like a mystery stamping. So they Melissa did a card, Deborah did a gift box, and then we had pre-cut our stuff, you know, like a mystery crafting, right? So everybody had different designs. Now I don't have theirs with them, but this is the card. So I made another one with the little drinks. This is coming up in the new catalog. So this was the card that I made for that. So that was super fun. I've never done a Zoom Bunko before, but boy, was that fun. And Deborah's little design for the boxes, but this was my version. I used the same thing we used today, and I just cut it out. I didn't do any coloring this time. I just cut it out and made this cute little gift bag that Deborah designed. So that was super fun. All right. Do I have anything else to show you guys? If you want the project and measurement sheet for this week's classes, if you're on my email list, this will go out tomorrow morning in the email that I send out every week. If you don't want to be on my email list, no problem. Just email me. I'll be happy to send this to you. If you would like the kit to make these cards, just place your order of $40 or more by Saturday. Here is this week's host code, and I'll send this to you for free. Okay, so you'll get the stuff to make all 4 of the projects we did tonight. Like I said, you need the bundle that goes with it to do your stamping and die cutting. And that's it. If you don't want to place an order, you can also purchase them for $22, and I'll send you the kit as well. Okay, so, and here's the instructions that are available to you for free if you would like them. Paper Pumpkin ends the 10th, so just know that. I just got these dies in today. I didn't open these up yet, but the little add-on dies for the 3 months of Paper Pumpkin. I have, let's see, these are the ones from last month, and then brand new, you guys, 3 kits came out today. So we have the Paper Bouquet kit, we have Essential Occasions kit, and then we have Loveliest Wishes kit. So 3 new kits hit the store today. All right, I think that's all I have. I'll see you guys not next week, but the week after. And have a great rest of the week. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. I love spending time with you. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.